Hello, and welcome to GoDad Farming. Just trying to get a video out here. It's gonna be short. Sorry for the hitches and stuff on the video. I loaded in about 5-10 minutes ago, and it's still got a little bit of a lag to it. Still kind of loading in shaders and such. So we're just gonna let it do that while I talk a little bit. Um, so I'd planned to do a live stream the day of the release. However, once I had the game downloaded and I sort of got on and was messing around with it, I decided to just kind of sit back and play, um, and sort of just figure it out myself. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to check out, and I didn't know that I'd be able to really do that. Well, to like what I wanted, while I was streaming. So I kind of just decided to sit back and enjoy the game a little bit, figure out what I liked, what I didn't like, what I thought could maybe get better in the future, what I thought could maybe, I don't know, be a benefit to us moving forward. So it was really just a full day of me checking out the game. And then yesterday I kind of just I had a lot to do around the house, and then I had a couple things to do outside of the house, so I didn't really get a chance to play too much. But I do have I'd say about 15 hours of playtime into the game right now. So I've played it a fair bit in the last 2 days. Now, one thing to keep in mind, so I just wanted to put this video out there basically to maybe try and help other people that are kind of on the fence, because I know there's been like a ton of word going around, whether it's videos out there, or I've seen a lot of Facebook posts in different groups and on different pages, especially the modder pages. I've seen all sorts of different things talking about how this game's no good. We need to wait until the next one comes out, or we all need to go back to FS22. This and that. I don't really know that I feel that way. I don't really feel the same way about that. So I thought I'd put out a quick video, even though I don't have a ton of followers, to just kind of, put the word out. I want to help get the word out about everything that's right with this game, and everything that maybe I feel isn't quite right with this game. So I'm hoping this will help somebody that's looking at wanting the game but hasn't decided if they want to spend their money on it yet, because it is a lot of money, especially in today's economy. Like, it's hard to come by money. So spending $50 or even 80 if you're getting, I think it's 80. I forget what the advanced edition is. I didn't buy that edition, but even if it's more than $50, like, it's just hard. So I'm hoping this will help somebody. One of the very first things we'll talk about is I was really pleasantly surprised when I first woke up. I wake up every day around 6 a.m. I thought that maybe because the game released at 8 a.m. that I could load it early on Steam and just start playing right at 8 a.m. But that really wasn't the case. That's neither here nor there. When I went to go download the game at 8 a.m. though, it said that it was going to be 40 gigabytes or 42.8 gigabytes or something like that. And I was actually pleasantly surprised, because once it started downloading, it was only like 20.6 gigabytes or something around there. So that was a pretty pleasant surprise to see. Definitely, I think that's definitely down a little bit from 22. So I mean, that's great. Anytime you can cut down on the amount of storage you're using on your PC specifically. And this goes even more so for Xbox and PlayStation users, because they have such a limited capacity that they're really able to do. But I was just happy to see how small the game file actually was. And I know 20 gigabytes might not seem small to a lot of people, but compared to a lot of other games coming out in today's age, it really is. Now, another thing about this game, when I first loaded in, it did have some definite hitches and lags and things like that, and once in a while it still does. But after the initial loading, it seems to run really smooth. It does seem quite a bit more polished. Now, I had to definitely turn my graphics down quite a bit from what I did on FS22. On FS22, I played at full graphics. I mean, I didn't have anything turned down. My draw distances were all super high, everything. I'm still kind of playing with the graphics settings a little bit and trying to figure out what's what here. But for the most part, this thing definitely plays a lot more smooth. I'm not sure, honestly, that with my system, I run a 3080, and I forget exactly what CPU. I could run pretty much anything at full graphics. I think on PC benchmark, I'm like a 98% PC. So, my opinion, I don't know that I should have to run anything at less than high. Certainly, I mean, you get up in very high and ultra, it's a little different. You know, you sort of expect to have to turn your graphics down at some point. And I don't ever expect to run at that high graphics, but I am running on medium right now, and the game still looks absolutely beautiful. So as far as how it runs pretty good, but I do think that you're going to have to sit back and try to fine-tune the graphics, especially if you're on PC, to the correct settings to get it to run well. Now, with that said, and I know I keep using the word polished, it really is. Compared to FS22, this thing is a lot more polished. With all the talk about hitches and loading and this and that and graphics, I do have to say, when you load into this game for the first time, you are gonna instantly think it's a complete mess. It's very stop and go, laggy, everything else. That is just I believe it's your shader cache loading in. So you need to give it a good little bit of time, at least the first few times you load into a new map. I think I gave mine about 10 to 15 minutes, and then once everything was loaded in, I drove around the entire map once, and after that, it was totally fine. I don't really have that problem. Once in a while, I'll get something when I first load in the map for the first minute or so, but I mean, that happened in FS22 as well. Another big thing, with all the perceptions of this game bad, basically, going around on the internet right now, people have to realize that every single game release, and I guess I would specifically say this more for people who are really only into Farming Simulator, because I know in the Farming Simulator community it's a little different. There's a lot of people who don't really play other games. They don't experience first day release of other games. So all they're getting is their experience with Farming Simulator, and you kind of have to take a step back and understand that every game has issues on the day of release, and even for a few weeks after release. Does that make it okay? No, it definitely does not make it okay. But at the end of the day, this is just how things work. You know, developers are paid a lot of money by different companies to develop these games. They're pushed on release days and everything else, and because of that, you're always going to have glitches and issues. The good thing is, all the glitches that people have experienced are definitely fixable glitches. It's nothing. People will say they're game breaking, this and that, and while some of them might be game breaking, I'm not sure that anything's so quote unquote game breaking that you can't actually play the game. I think they're just labeled as game breaking because that's sort of like the hip thing to do right now in the gaming community. Now I want to talk about the graphics and the environment a little bit. Obviously, I'm on medium to high graphics. I'm somewhere in between right now because I'm just playing with things. And this game still looks absolutely great. I mean, the reflections and the lighting in this game is nothing like we had in FS22. Obviously, if you look at the side of this John Deere on the shadow, you can definitely see a little bit of jagged edges on my shadows, but that's just because I have them turned down. When this game's on high or very high, it is so butter smooth with the graphics. It's pretty amazing. And again, the only reason I turned it down is because I was experiencing some hitches myself. And honestly, I think that was mostly because of just the fact that I had OBS running in the background, and I have a couple other programs running in the background as well. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I think once I can figure all that out, I'll probably be able to run on high while I'm streaming and stuff. they added a lot of stuff. I know, like the trees definitely look more realistic. All the shrubbery, everything. The crops look great. I mean, the crops interaction with the game world. Um, blowing in the wind, or when it's raining, you can see the crops kind of moving as the rain hits them. I mean, I was honestly kind of taken back by that a little bit, because I did not think we'd have that big of a leap. So I don't know if they were capable of having that big of a leap just because they got rid of the old systems, or what it was, or if it's just the new Giants Engine 10. But the game definitely has a lot better fidelity to it. It looks great. It runs a lot more polished and more smooth most of the time. And that just goes back to what I said about making sure you have the right graphics. Material quality is definitely, it's definitely 100% better. I don't know if they doubled the resolution or quadrupled the resolution. I haven't really looked into it, but all the material quality is extremely good. In past games, we used to get things like crops clipping through walls. If you dumped silage in a silage bunker silo, sometimes you'd get that crop and it would kind of spill out the sides through the wall, and it always looked kind of wrong and kind of silly. But in this game, I haven't noticed that at all. I've filled bunker silos to their max capacity, and I haven't noticed any crops spilling out walls or underneath them or anything like that. So it seems like the added game world, like I don't know, I guess you'd call them polygons or whatever it is. It seems like them increasing those has really helped pretty much everything. So that's really good news. This game just looks great. This is on medium quality settings, and I still think it's better than FS22 looked. So I mean, you have to go probably to low or very low to get to FS22, in my opinion. So yeah, this game, it looks great, it runs great. I have no real complaints about that. Running in the fog is really good, and you know what? Maybe I'll speed up time after this. If I can finish this contract, I'll speed up time, or I'll put a clip at the end of the video to show you. Fog looks fantastic. Now, sometimes I feel like it's a little overdone. Like, I don't think every single morning has to be foggy. That's my opinion, though. Because I do know that fog is, it's always foggy in a lot of these small towns, and especially these river valley towns. So I get that. It's just my opinion. I don't think the fog needs to be so heavy every single morning. I think it will play itself out eventually, but it looks fantastic. It really does look fantastic. It definitely brings a new atmosphere to when you're harvesting, whether you're during the day or early morning rather, harvesting or running your tractors on your land. And even if you're doing a nighttime harvest or doing something at night, it gets foggy, and it's really an amazing feel to the map in general. I definitely like it. I just wish it wasn't all the time. I think, you don't want it to wear itself out, so to speak. I think people, when they see something all the time, they get kind of worn out on features, and I think that the fog being so heavy all the time can definitely wear people out. And I'm not saying heavy all the time as in like it's too thick all the time. It varies, but I mean, like, just having foggy mornings every morning, it's kind of odd, at least to me. So I live in a river valley, actually in the Susquehanna River Valley. So seeing the fog every morning, we get fog a lot during the summer, and especially during the spring and the fall. But it's not every morning, you know what I mean? So that's just my only gripe, and I wouldn't even call that a gripe. I would just call that like I don't know, a preference basically that I have. The rain and everything else that comes with that is very good. Rain, snow, I don't know. So the rain looks fantastic, bouncing off windshields and stuff. Now, I haven't tested the rain on the medium settings, but I'm definitely going to do that soon. So I'm not sure what it looks like specifically on medium. I did see a few people talk about how the rain doesn't have quite as good of an effect when you're on lower graphic settings. So I'll be kind of curious to see that on ultra. When I was still on ultra before I started running a stream and it started lagging and everything on me, it looked absolutely phenomenal. I mean, again, just like with the effects of like the crops blowing in the wind and stuff, like the rain hitting the windshields and rolling off the combines and the tractors, it looked phenomenal. It was definitely picturesque. It was definitely something that made me kind of say to myself, like, dang, I wish we had a photo mode, because this would be it. This would absolutely be it if we had a photo mode to take photos in the rain. It was definitely beautiful. The new engine is definitely overachieving. Well, not overachieving, but it's definitely it's very good. It is very, very good. It just, everything looks so good, so polished. Now we're gonna talk about we could talk about the menus a little bit. So I'll actually stop the combine here because I am recording this as I'm kind of just playing a contract, which is kind of funny. So the menus are definitely criticized quite a bit. There's a few things that I don't like with them. I don't like the store menu. I'm not really a fan of how it's organized, how they split up all the trailers. I think that the trailers and stuff could definitely be still put together. And I understand why they did it though, because a lot of people who are just getting into Farming Simulator and don't really know what goes to what, this is really helpful at sort of just telling them what you need for each job and what goes to what. So I get it, but that doesn't mean I have to be a fan. But in terms of use, like usable menu and interface, it is very usable. It's easy to use. You just might not like the new organization. I definitely think it's going to take some time to get used to. One of the biggest criticisms, though, has been this window right here, the vehicles window. I think by getting rid of the storefront style owned vehicles, I really think they messed up. I feel like there's been enough complaints about that, and that it's hard enough to find where your vehicles are and all the information. I feel like we're gonna see an update that actually adds your owned vehicles back to the storefront, the regular storefront tab. Because right now, so this is the storefront. So when you first come in, it goes to brands, and then right below that is vehicles. This is all the stuff you could buy, obviously. And then it goes to packs. So the packs is this is kind of nice too, because I don't remember if this was in the last game or not, but this is kind of nice because you can click, say, grass, and it tells you what you need, and it gives you some suggestions on what you could actually buy here. So, and obviously you don't have to stick to this. You could just say, okay, for to get olives, okay, I need this small little tractor. I need an olive harvester. All right, so cool. I can go back to the store and I could buy all that stuff individually. So it's really it's nice for people who aren't really sure how to get into um, farming like specific crops. So I actually really like this, because in the last game there was a lot of crops that I was really unsure on what I needed to get them harvested and delivered and everything. And this is something that I wish we would have had. You still got the for sale. Well, this for sale, yes. The used vehicles, you still have that tab, so that's still in here. Then you got your mods and packs, but also in the actual start menu. So when you start, you'll come to the map, and you have to scroll all the way down to here to find it. So it's basically in the charts section, which is, I don't know, it's weird to me. I get it because it is a chart, but it's just very strange. And you do have like hand tools. You have your hand tools. It's just very strange. Everything else, though, I don't mind. Honestly, I like everything else. I think they could have done the map a little different. Um, I think they probably could have still separated the farmland tab from and the job tab from everything else. I'm not really sure why they went backwards on putting these putting crop types and growth and soil composition in different menus. They're all kind of usable in the same menu like they were in the last game. So that's going to take some time to get used to. Um, I don't know. A lot of it's just getting used to things. Contracts are really cool. So they split up the baling and mowing and wrapping contracts. So all the grassland contracts are all split up. So instead of doing one full contract now from start to finish on like grasslands, you do everything separate. So a lot of people didn't like that, but I kind of like it because, well, for instance, I don't like to. Everybody knows that I hate to wrap bales. Well, now if I want to do a contract, I don't have to sit there and wrap bales. So I like that. And also because they're split up, if you have a baler but you don't have, say, a windrower, now you only need the vehicle and the tool for that specific task. So you can kind of pick and choose, okay, I have a baler, so I can go do baling, but I can't wrap. So that's no worry now because it's all split up. Um, Another thing I noticed, well, I didn't notice, I knew about this. Another thing is there's time limits on these. So if I were to accept this fertilizing contract, I have to get it done by 1340. Right now it is 1019. So that's something for us to think about moving forward. It's just another obstacle for us to think about if we want to take a contract. Are we going to be able to get the contract done in this amount of time? Because if we don't, it fails and you just don't make the money. So there's another added bit. Now productions, those are all a little bit more in depth. I'm not going to go into productions. Just know that like there's a lot more to do with the productions. All right, so let's talk about bugs, and I already sort of covered a little bit about the bugs and everything. There are bugs in this game, absolutely, but just like I said earlier, every game that releases on release day, there's bugs. Now that does not mean that I'm not excusing there being bugs. Obviously, I wouldn't do that, but we have to understand that it's just how it works now. Unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but it's just how it is now. I don't think any of the bugs are great game breaking. At least that I saw, nothing completely stops you from playing. I did see that there's been graphical issues where like little squares of color show up on your map, or not on your map, on your like in your view. I haven't had that happen at all. Honestly, if I sit here and think about it, I don't think I've encountered any bugs. I've encountered actually one bug I've encountered a bug where I put my it was actually kind of funny. I put my combine harvester, I was at the store and I put my harvesting head back on the trailer and this thing launched into space. I mean, I put it back and the minute I clicked off of it, it just launched straight up. I have no clue where it went. But I was able to go into the own vehicles tab and reset it. So there's that. There's definitely a bit of potential for like improving the game moving forward. There's things they could improve on. They need to fix the glitches that people are encountering, and I really do have confidence that they're gonna do that. I don't think they just leave us hanging. So I'm not too worried about that. So I mean, if that's your biggest worry, then yeah, of course, wait to get the game. Obviously, you don't just get the game if you're not going to be happy with having to deal with a few glitches, right? So ground deformation is probably the next thing I want to talk about. It's good, man. I am a huge fan of the ground deformation. It's hard to see in this field because you have the crop left over on it, but I mean, right here, it's not just a texture, guys. So a lot of people were worried that it was going to be just a texture on top of the ground, and it's not. It's not a texture. It definitely matters how heavy your vehicle is. You can see right here if you look at the tracks and the wheels, watch the tracks. Boom, boom. Like when they hit that ground deformation, they actually move. It puts an actual dent into the map's surface. So that is really good. It looks really good in the rain. It definitely slows down your tractor, especially if you have a little smaller tractor. So there is that. I think that's a great feature. Adds to the realism of it. It really kind of adds to the immersion. So I like it. I really enjoy it. I think it looks great. Even driving across your farmland, while you don't get the huge ruts, you still get a little bit better impressions onto, say, like a gravel road. So there's that. Um, and speaking of gravel roads, I've noticed that the sounds they've added to this game, they've added sounds to the gravel roads, and I mean, they're so much more crisp and so much more dynamic. It's just really good. The modding potential with the ground deformation and the sound effects that are added, and just the overall graphics, like everything, the modding potential on this game, in my opinion, and I'm not a modder, so I could be wrong, but I think that the tools that they're given to mod this game are going to be far more advanced and far more usable than what they've had in the past. I think we'd be a little remiss to not talk about the AI. Um, I've had good and bad feelings about the AI. So the good on the AI would have to do with working the fields. Look at that. Look at the tracks they're leaving on the pavement from running through that mud. I mean, that's awesome, and they stay for a while. Um, but sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. So I I've had good and bad moments with the AI. Working in the field is definitely they are definitely 100% better working in the field than they were in the past. I mean, it's a night and day difference working the fields. They don't seem to get stuck. I mean, obviously, obviously they're still gonna get stuck once in a while. They are AI. They are stupid at the end of the day, but um, they don't seem to do it quite as often. Um, the course play, or not the course play, the AI worker menu, which basically is a lot like course play, is going to be a huge plus, especially to console guys. I think that at the end of the day, I feel like the PC people or PC players are still going to want course play, because even though the AI is greatly improved with the worker menu, I do think that there's a little bit more that the course play could do that the AI helper menu can't, or still has a little bit of trouble doing. With that said, you can use the AI in the fields without having to worry about them screwing up. There were some complaints that there was like AI chasing their tails in a field and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, that's just another glitch that's going to get fixed. I have to believe, and it doesn't happen often. I haven't ran into it at all. So you have to set it up properly in order to get the most out of it, obviously, and that's that's with anything in life, right? How do I get to where I'm going here? Uh, oh man, oh, that's a sharp turn. Um, Sorry, my son came in, totally distracted me. That's part of GoDad farming. That's a unique feature to our channel, and that's how we're going to utilize it. um, Now, the bad part about the AI that I had, um, driving from point to point has been less than great, honestly. It's been less than good for me. I have not been able to get to a point where I can get the AI to drive from point A to point B, um, with just normal tractors or cars. They seem to do okay. You add a trailer into the mix, and it turns into a real problem. So that's my biggest gripe. I actually think so compared to FS22 base game maps, I felt like point A to point B was really, really good. They could do it most of the time with no issues. Um, so this game is not doing that well. I don't know what they did to go backwards on that, but they definitely took a step backwards on that. It's going to be difficult to harvest crops and have the AI deliver, in my opinion. I did notice that if I just keep them on the road, so um, if I want them to go somewhere, I'll show you on the map here in a second while I'm unloading this. So if I want them to go somewhere on the map, what I need to do, say, well, say I wanted them to come here, right? So ins- I'll use my mouse. Instead of putting them here on the location, what I need to do is I need to put them down here. out on the road. They seem, if you point it to the road, they seem to have a better time delivering stuff. But regardless, it still doesn't work good. A lot of times I see them getting caught up just in normal intersections, even when there's no traffic. It'll say like AI worker B is stuck on an object and stuff like that. This whole town area is a complete mess for them. They don't even seem to want to move a lot of the time. This whole town area, same thing. Um, Down here, this farm, completely, this whole entire wing of the map is completely unattainable by driving from point to point, from what I saw. So it seems to be worse on the east side of the map compared to the west. I'm not sure if that's a pathing problem or what, but at this point, I'm not sure that you can really. Um, I'm not sure that you could really harvest well without it without using like an auto drive feature. So that's a definite negative. I'm not really a fan of that, especially as somebody who likes to run the combine and just send my workers away. So that's definitely negative. I'm not really a huge fan of that, but hopefully, whether it's through mods or through updates, they could fix that. I'm not gonna hold my breath on them fixing the AI though, because I know that like in FS22, the AI has been a problem for years, and they didn't really address it until this game, and they finally address it, and now the driving feature is kind of broken a little bit. So I don't know. It's just how it is, I guess. I don't really know what to say about it other than I'm just disappointed about that fact. But in terms of um, in terms of should you get this game or skip out on it, I think this game is too big of an upgrade to the last one in order to skip out. I think they were able to do a lot of things with this game that they weren't able to do in previous iterations just because that they had the old consoles to worry about. And you could definitely tell that everything in this game is way better. And even now that I've been in the game for 10 to 15 minutes, talking with you guys, it it's it's running great. I mean, you can see how smooth it runs. Oh, I'm gonna get stuck there, but you can see how smooth it runs. Obviously, I just had a little lag going in the cockpit. That was the first time I've come into this cab, so probably had to load for a second. Just give it a minute. But overall, I mean, this is really great. It's a beautiful game. It runs really smooth. It The graphical updates are there. The um, like all the pieces are here for a great game. I think that a lot of people who are upset with this game right now are more upset with the fact that they don't have all the mods. Obviously, a game that is modded out of its mind 3 years after the fact is going to be better than this base game stuff. Like, I think that they probably don't have as much in base game as they did in FS22, but at the same time, it's going to be added to. Probably give it a week and a half or so, and the modding tools will be out, and we're gonna see mods dropping like absolute crazy. So, just give it a little time, buy it, enjoy it, play it with all the base game stuff. That's part of the challenge. Whoa, part of the challenge of playing a farming sim sometimes could just be playing with base game, seeing how the game works, everything like that. So, just I say buy it, man. Don't Make sure you're supporting the company, because at the end of the day, this is a really, really good game. Giants is a pretty good company, in my opinion. They do a really good job. They try their best to put out a product that everybody's gonna like. And does it always work out? No, but they do care about their product at the end of the day, and that's a lot more than what other gaming companies can honestly say. So I'm labeling this as an absolute buy. Definitely buy it. It's worth the $50. I don't know if it's quite worth the bonus money, the $70 or $80 that is the next version up, but it's definitely worth $50. That much I know for a fact. In fact, I'd say it's worth $60. So that's all I got to say there, honestly. But regardless, I just wanted to put this video out. Maybe it helps people. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I don't have anybody watch, and that's okay. But that's just my thoughts on the game. I'm looking forward to getting a series started soon. So like the video. if you thought this was helpful, or if you didn't think it was helpful, still like the video. At least it helped you in some way, right? If you decide one way or another, try to like the video. If you have any suggestions, or if you have anything you want to share about the game, leave a comment. I'm definitely interested to know your opinions. I'm always all ears, and maybe we'll talk about it in another video. Um, Regardless, thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support. I've been getting a lot of views. I wasn't really expecting that when I first started out, so I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the views, the likes, the subscriptions, everything. Until next time, we will talk to you later. I hope to have a video out soon. Adios.